now, hate me now. Enemies gon' hate me now. Enemies gon' hate me now, hate me now. Enemies gon' hate me now, hate me now. Enemies, hustlers got some mana, but I handle that, so hate me now. Got the Louis slugger, you better cover when I hit a foul. You better be so quick to get it hip when the pistol show. All my niggas get me creeping slow, and we on that blow. Told the two that I use, searching for an easy man. Demon in me wakes, now I shake and don't feel okay. Yeah, I'm terrified in my mind, so corrupted too. Feel so blizzo, hizzo, off that snizzo, but still keep it smooth. Evil prince, stay so blitz, busy down with Psycho Mike. Scheming, leaning all throughout the night, down in Metro Height. Bitch, you getting sprayed from grenade when I pulled up here. Gangsta P, here with me, and we always going in. Waking, shaking in my bed. Hey, at least you pray y'all dead. Don't you rest so tears up, call your blizz up when I'm on my man. I face so much crime, stay inside. I have on my mind. Blizzo, shoot your blizzo, send you his on, get your miz online. Enemies so close to me, especially gon' hate me now. Motivated jealousy, but still I elevate somehow. Smiling face all in my space, deep inside you hating me. Take that loaded Glock 19 and kill that kind with courtesy. Enemies so close to me, especially gon' hate me now. Motivated jealousy, but still I elevate somehow. Smiling face all in my space, deep inside you hating me. Take that loaded Glock 19 and kill that kind with courtesy. Hate me now, hate me now. Enemies gon' hate me now. Hate me now. Enemies.
You hate me now, nigga, damn, I thought we was cool. You hate me now, I thought we was cool.
You mad at me now, but all I view is laughing. Then chop a bullet, split him up like he a fraction. He run up on me, think it's chicken, now he past tense. Yes, I am evil prince, but also trace, so blast him. I catch him loafing, I'ma up the gun and let it bust. I got them niggas in the car ready to shoot shit up. You mention me, boy, I'm a killer, best not test your luck. Yo, bitch, a groupie, all up in my DMs tryna fuck. These niggas lying in they songs, you know they capping. I'm on the block, I put in work, you niggas slacking. My nigga get jammed up and then we go and post bail. But if your nigga run up, we gon' send his ass to hell. Ain't have a ruler, kept a Ruger when I was in school. I'm hitting ops with this stick like I'm playing pool. Handy manny in this bitch, we got all the tools. You hate me now, damn nigga, I thought we was cool.
We was cool.
Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Hey, put a 1 in the chat, man. If y'all can hear the audio, bro. Put a 1 in the chat. Give me one more second, y'all. Hey, put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me.
Ruled.
How the fuck you gonna overrule the Constitution,
Defense,
man?
keep the defendant silent.
Peace, peace, peace. What's going on, man? It's your bro MD checking in once again. MD checking in once again. Hey, MD's Thought Box, man. Been a minute. What's up with everybody, man? Just want to come on real quick. I'm not gonna be long at all because I'm coming right back around 1:30, maybe 2 o'clock. I'll see. Somewhere around that time, I'm coming right back. And we're gonna talk about Starfield, man. We're gonna talk about the political parallels of Starfield and my view since I've been playing it. I'm on my PTO time right now, man. I'm on staycation, man. I'm recharging the batteries. I feel great. I feel great. When I go back to work on Tuesday, I'm gonna be up and running, and I'm gonna be 100 miles per hour. So right now, man, I just been chilling. I ain't really been doing too much. Really haven't been on YouTube like that per se. I've been on a few shows. Shout out to Straight Talk Society, out, Take Fix Politics, of course, and Wrestling with Reality. So I've been on those shows. But other than that, I really haven't been on YouTube like that. You know what I'm saying? I've just been chilling, kicking it with the kids, playing Starfield, of course, and yeah, just relaxing, man. But I had to come up here because shout out to Black Sun. What I heard today was disturbing. It was disturbing in the sense that the correlation that was made in that video that he did today was it was damaging to his rapport on what we perceive or how we perceive ourselves to be constitutionalists, right? So it's a term that Black Sun like to use to I think it's a anonymous term. I don't follow stuff like that because it's irrelevant to the social space of politics. But in any event, he still use it, right? He says, I believe, and like I said, I may be wrong on how I'm saying it, but I believe we say no leaders, no masters, right? On the video that he did today, and again, if you can hear me, man, put a one in the chat so I can know, because I don't know if I can be heard or not. But what I heard today, it was damning because everybody knows I'm a constitutionalist. Everybody knows I go by what's written, and I go by a certain interpretation of how it's written based on individual perspective, right? But then Black Sun turns around and says that I'm essentially correlating, or he correlated me being a constitutionalist and going by the letter of the law and as religion. and he said that's beta male behavior. So let me get this straight. I'm not being subservient to any person. I'm not being I'm not bending the knee to any code of personality. I'm going by what's written as determined for all of us socially in the United States of America, but I'm following religious like behavior. So the writing is on the wall at this point. Black Sun, you're not a constitutionalist. By that reference, you never have been a constitutionalist, and you're following a code of personality, which is Trump. Hey, if that's what you want to do, cool. I ain't got no issue with that. That gives more content for whatever we're doing at the time, because I can always give you pushback on something. But it's got extreme, very extreme within the last couple of months. I've always come on here and said that based on my political views, if it comes down to Trump, obviously I'm going to vote for Trump. But I would never sell my soul to the point where I would defend this man with my life based on allegations that are clearly in contest with the Constitution. It's not going to happen, folks. Sorry. It's just not. Peace, Trevor. What's happening? It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. So when we look at the context of what Trump says versus what other Republicans say, it's not that clear cut of a conflict. Give you a perfect example. He was talking about Zelensky coming to Congress and speaking to Congress. What he didn't say was several members of the Republican Party on the Congress floor drafting a letter proposing the rejection of Zelensky speaking on the House floor and the basic cool down of funds given to Ukraine. He didn't mention that. Why did he mention? Because it goes against his shtick. It goes against what he's trying to push. Going back to my original point, Trump versus what we call rhinos. And again, I don't go with rhinos because rhinos go with a hypocritical viewpoint in the aspect of individuality versus corporate political coupling. So that's why I don't rock with rhinos. But at the end of the day, they all conservative. But it kills his argument saying that Trump is the only person that's fighting against this whole Ukraine-Russia war, when we just had a majority of the Republicans come up with a letter to reject Zelensky speaking on the House floor and rejecting all aid to Ukraine at this point. But Black Side's not going to tell you that because, again, it goes against what he's saying. Point blank, period. And it displays his beta male traits in the cult of Trump. And it flushes it down the drain. I follow no man from a political aspect. I follow the Constitution. So if I'm a beta to a piece of paper, so be it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to socially maneuver any other group of people toward that particular piece of paper, i.e., the Constitution. I'm not doing that. And I don't follow pseudo news sources without cross-referencing and crossing my T's and dotting my I's and connecting the dots. I don't spew secondary sources on a whim. I don't do that. When I use mainstream sources, I always cross-reference the mainstream sources. Always. When I was doing Arena this week, I would bring up an article. It would be a mainstream article, and I would immediately go into something else backing up that article. If I couldn't back it up, I didn't use it, period. But the Trump cultists and the MAGA maniacs, you can just write up something that goes with your narrative and leave it at that, and the people will follow it. That's beta male activity. Period. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not going to be I'm not going to be long on here because I'm about to get off and eat some lunch, and then I'm going to jump right back on and talk about this Starfield. Like I said, probably around 1:30, 2 o'clock, something like that. the political parallels of Starfield coming up in these thought boxes. The next one, right after that. So again, when it comes to debate, when it comes to argument, when it comes to any type of discourse regarding my position on Trump versus anybody else's, well, let me not say anybody else's, but the MAGA perspective on Trump, I'm gonna win every time because my sources back it up. That don't take away from my political affiliation or my affinity toward a certain candidate. If you did something wrong, that's what it is. You did something wrong. That's what it is. Yeah. So we're gonna have to start analyzing what's beta male activity. Because in order to have a alpha male and a beta male, you have to have some type of social order. And I don't follow social standard at all. Everybody know that. I'm an individualist. That's impossible for me to do. I don't give a shit what your views are. I can only go what's going to benefit me. But when you try to control my viewpoint toward a certain political affinity because you say so, that's cultism. So who's really religious? Who's really doing zealotry at the end of the day? I would argue it's the MAGA cult. That's what I would argue. Because like I said, I still vote for the man after all this shit's been done because, hey, court of law says one thing and I cannot change that. I can't be pissed about it. The court of law is the court of law. But until then, based on my knowledge of the Constitution, we got some issues. That's just what it is. I don't give a shit if Trump is a bad man or he's a racist or he's a mega hold on, give me a second. Yeah, my bad. That was my son. But I don't care if he's a racist or he's full of himself. I don't give a shit. What I care about is the people putting him on a pedestal as this type of example of authoritarian rule. That's my issue. And Black Son puts him on a pedestal as an authoritarian figure. He don't give a shit about the Constitution. Period. So the Constitution is akin to the Bible now with Black Son. That's what it is. It's akin to the Bible, and he believes that people that follow the Constitution are subservient to an ideology. So he looks at Trump as this beacon of light of breaking the establishment. And that's just simply not the case because everybody that follows Trump are super conservative, religious zealots that he panders to and gives a side eye to anything in the case of liberalism, which he should as being a conservative, whether you want to try to deny it or not. Give side eye to anything liberal in the facet of law and order. And law and order says he not only not only broke the rule of law as it concerns to your right to vote, yours and mine, Black Son, whether you want to like not believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? But one of the charges clearly say conspiracy to the obstruction of rights. What does that mean? He tried to obstruct your right to your suffrage or your vote. Allegedly. And I can't rock with that. As a constitutionalist, I can't rock with that. I just can't do it. But through conspiracies of your own, from QAnon and some of these pseudo conservative talking heads on YouTube, like a Ritter or a McGregor. These people had their foot within the membrane of military and political societies in America, and then come out of it and spew bullshit to you on YouTube. Ritter's already been casted out in terms of reliability. We talked about that, Black Son. I mean, this motherfucker was on Fresh and Fit. For what? Colonel McGregor already been investigated by his own people within DOJ. The Roger Stone video came out a few weeks ago after the Trump indictment, basically saying, "Hey, look, we know Trump is on the bullshit, but look, this is what we need to write." Bro, this is all on tape. Like, what are we talking about here? So, as a courtesy to you, Black Son, I'm gonna tell you, get off the beta male bullshit and come up with your own conclusion. Stop listening to these pseudo talking heads. Stop it. It's detrimental to your psyche at this point because you done went full blown off your rocker, like I said the other day. I mean, you in zero G space. You don't know if you're going up, down, left, or right with a lot of these articles that you bring up. Without providing cross reference for the people. I mean, in layman's terms, you don't went batshit crazy. But it's cool. I'm gonna bring you down after the debate, and maybe after the debate when I beat you about the head and shoulders for a considerable amount of time, maybe it'll bring some sense into you. Maybe. Because I don't want to see you in this state, my brother. I don't want to see you in this state. I want you to be able to confine within yourself enough political aptitude to be able to have meaningful conversation with me and the rest of the people here on in this sector. That's all. That's all I want for you because you provided me with an opportunity to express myself. So I feel some type of way in the route that you're going. But when you tied the Constitution in with the Bible, that was the last straw for me. That was the last straw. I said, "Oh yeah, he done lost it. He done lost it, folks. He done completely lost it." I thought the whole point was when we talking about politics and we talking about law and code, it was to be by the book. Being by the book takes out all it takes out all affection when it comes to other people. But you're giving all affection to one person. If that ain't beta male activity, I don't know what is. You don't see a problem with Trump being able to challenge other people's political aspects on their candidacy. You don't see a problem with that. You don't see a problem with other candidates having the opportunity to challenge Trump's policy. You don't see an issue with that because he's so up in the poll. Who gives a damn? I want to know as an individual voter, being able to compare and contrast different political issues with different candidates. Trump didn't give me that privilege because it's authoritarian rule. That's authoritarianism in and of itself. And you fell hook, line, and sinker for it. Not only did you fall hook, line, and sinker for it, you did beta male activity by then, in defense of Trump, bashing the other candidates in the primary line, Nikki Warhawk Haley, which I have said now that now again, I'm not voting in the Republican primary, so it really don't affect me. But if I were to vote in the Republican primary, I'm now leaning more toward Nikki Warhawk Haley based on her policies that she displayed in the Republican debate. Hell, if you don't heard one Trump debate, if you don't heard one Trump speech, you don't heard them all. He doesn't feel the need to be challenged or contested based on how high he is up on the polls. And you go along with it, get along and ride with it. Trevor, I don't know when the debate is, man. It's to be determined. The stuff I've been going through, man, as of late with work and whatever, man. Like, I wish we could have did, but Black Son going on a vacation. But yeah, it'll be within a couple of months or so. Like we gonna straighten it out. But even in the debate, the title is, did Biden or what was it? Damn, now I don't even know. I believe is if did Biden steal the 2020 election, something like that. But stuff like that is based on a perception that MAGA wants you to believe. That video clearly showed that those poll workers were putting up the ballots and then were told that they had to continue to count, so they pulled them back out. But Giuliani wanted you to believe that they were stuffing ballots. And the beta mindset went for it, and they defended to the very end. Defended. But the individualist says, okay, let me cross-reference what happened. Because the timeline is out there. The video shows what's what. The video clearly shows poll watchers, Republican and Democrat, in the room at that time. But because the QAnon mind wants you to think that everybody's against Trump, it's Trump versus the world. They want you to believe that everybody was in cahoots with each other to steal the election from Trump, Republican and Democrat alike. That's what they want you to believe. Shout out to Latina and Cali. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. They go a QAnon right there. They go a QAnon right. She got her footing. She got her footing in America, so she good. The hell with everybody else. I ain't got no problem with that. I'm an individual. Yeah, I'm an individual. Yeah, that's one of the MAGA courts. So again, like I said, I ain't gonna be on here for long. I'm about to go to get off, man, eat some lunch. I'm gonna come right back. Like I said, around 1:30, maybe 2:00. It depends on what I got going. Whoa, hey, hop on the panel, Latina. Now, I got to get on you. Hop on the panel. Who is my mama? Because it's a troll at the end of the day. This a troll, but it's all good. So yeah, like I said, man, I'll be back on somewhere between 1:30 and 2 o'clock. We're gonna talk about Starfield, the political parallels of Starfield, and how, man, like everything that I talk about as far as politics, they talk about in Starfield, and to me, it's the game of the year. That's just my opinion. It's game of the year. A lot of people don't like Bethesda games, and that's cool. But for me, just based on the story alone, it's game of the year. But we're gonna talk about it later on, man. Let me go eat some lunch or something, man, and we're gonna get right back into it in about an hour, man. So shout out to everybody that came through. Again, don't fall for the cult of MAGA. It's one thing to support the policy. It's another thing to throw away everything else, especially when it's in stark comparison to what you're trying to spew in the whole MAGA cult. Again, I just clearly showed everything talking about Ukraine and Russia is to the MAGA is clearly just a MAGA thing. MAGA is the only people that want to stop funding. MAGA wants to break out, but just today with Zelensky's visit, the majority of the Republicans on the House floor drafted a letter to reject Zelensky's visit and come up with a proposal to stop funding for Ukraine. So what does that say about the totality of Republicanism versus MAGA? It's not that different. The only difference is the Republicans, the rhinos, so to speak. And again, I'm not a rhino person, so you can't use that argument because I look at rhinos in a different aspect when it comes to lobbyism and the hypocrisy of what they say in terms of individuality versus the rhinos that are just zealot. Damn, I can't even say it. Following zealotry in the form of authoritarian concept that Trump used. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. But the individualists don't care about none of that. So what's the difference when it comes to Ukraine and Russia between what Trump is saying and what the rhinos just did? Led by Kevin McCarthy. And like I said, this was a majority Republican drafting of this letter. Majority. So you can't use that excuse no more, Black Son. You just can't. Because it's not real. What Black Son wants you to do is pull out of Ukraine just out flat so sleeper cells can be created a la Afghanistan and Iraq. That's what he wants. But that's not plausible. I want to pull out of Ukraine too, but it's not plausible to do it in the way that MAGA is spewing. It's not possible. Negotiations are going to have to be the facet of the aspect of us pulling out. But Black Son don't want to accept that. Nor does he want to accept that any other Republican has a strategy to get out of Ukraine. He don't believe that. He believes that it's just flat out warmongering. Well, Kevin McCarthy and the rest of the Republicans just showed you that that's not true. And you conveniently didn't mention any of that when you was talking about the Zelensky visit today. So you just bullshitted us, is what you did. That's what you did. So again, Black Son, Get out, like you've been converted to the religion of Trump. You ain't no atheist. Not the way you spew bullshit. You ain't no atheist. You're not no individual voter either. I damn near want to come out like the rest of the left leaning people say and say that you're a fascist because you want authoritarian rule by Trump. And he should control everything. Hell, that's socialism. You thought I was bullshitting when I said that yesterday. In reality, you a socialist. You more left than you think that you try to defend against. You're a leftist, black son. Because in your eyes, Trump is the end all be all. You a socialist. I look at you and the rest of the MAGA folks in the same token as I look at Mussolini. But that's all, man. That's all I got, man. I'm just up here. I'm just up here shooting the shit, man. Like I said, it's been a minute since I did a MD's Thought Box, man. I ain't even in the box right now. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I feel boxed in from any of my political views based off the MAGA religion, the religious zealots. So I guess I still can call it MD's Thought Box. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody that came through. Again, I'll be back in about an hour. MD's Thought Box, the political parallels of Starfield. So with that being said, man, hey, I'm gonna say peace out to everybody. Hey, Black Son, hey, let's talk about it. Let's have a discourse and allow me to prove what I just said right. And that's why I'm at with it, man. So shout out to everybody that came through, man. Again, I'll be back in a flash, man. Let me get something to eat, man, and I am out.
Ruled. How the fuck you gonna overrule the Constitution?
Defense, keep the defendant silent.
The Arena of Sin.